Huawei returns with yet another mid-range smartphone. This is the new Huawei Nova 9 SE and it is a simpler smartphone overall, and it is also priced at only 1,099 ringgit. So what makes this smartphone special? Let's find out. Okay, so starting with the design of the Huawei Nova 9 SE, we have to point out that this is a very shiny reflective plastic back, and I'm really not a fan of this glossy finish because I would like something more matte, and this is just catching way too many fingerprints. But at least this smartphone has a curved edge around the back here, so it makes the phone more comfortable to hold. However, the camera bump though is a bit more obtrusive, I would say. It's a little bit too big. And speaking of the camera bump, we have a total of 4 different cameras here, but again, only 2 of them are usable to take pictures. The depth sensor and the 2 megapixel fixed focus camera are pretty much unusable here, so I would just disregard them. And in broad daylight, the main and ultra wide angle cameras do take good looking pictures, but when the night falls, only the main camera can be used to take some decent looking pictures. That ultra wide angle camera at night is just not gonna do anything. As for the performance of this phone, the Huawei Nova 9 SE does come with the Snapdragon 680 chipset and 8 gigs of RAM overall. And honestly, there's really not much to talk about it in terms of performance. It does work good from day-to-day tasks. However, we didn't do our gaming test here because number one, it's definitely gonna run well for PUBG Mobile and COD Mobile and whatnot. But if you somehow manage to download games like Genshin Impact on this phone, then I don't think it will run well. Even the more powerful Snapdragon 695 chipset on other phones don't run well as well. And with such a low power chipset, how's the battery life? Well, we did our usual battery life test and it lasts for about 10.5 hours on this phone, which is actually pretty decent. As for the charging time though, this Huawei Nova 9 SE does come with a 66 watt charger inside the box, and it took about 45 minutes to charge from 15 to 100%, which I think is actually quite okay in terms of the speed. As for the screen though, that is something that I would consider to be okay. This is a 6.78 inch IPS LCD screen with a resolution of 2388 by 1080 pixels. Even though the IPS LCD does look okay, I have no idea why Huawei didn't just use an OLED screen after all, because if you compare it in the market within this price range, many of the other competitors are already using OLED. And when it comes to software, the Huawei Nova 9 SE still doesn't have Google Mobile Services, and it's technically the same overall in terms of the software experience from the previous Huawei phones that we reviewed. So it's running Android 12 with EMUI 12.0.1. But I want to talk about the other thing instead, YouTube Vents getting closed down. Technically, it's not closed down yet, so if you have it installed on your phone, you can still use it for the time being until YouTube changes some API and whatnot. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because there is a lot of people that keep saying no GMS equals no problem because you can still continue to watch YouTube using YouTube Vents. But now, since YouTube Vents is no more, you're gonna run into another slew of problems because, yeah, a lot of people watch YouTube on their phones, but now you can't do it on the Huawei Nova 9 SE, even though you're gonna go through illegal means. And I guess that is the conclusion of this phone. If you want to buy the Huawei Nova 9 SE, then go ahead. For the price of 1,099 ringgit, I do think you do need to know what you're getting into before making your purchase. Because yeah, Huawei phones for a few years right now, they don't have Google Mobile Services, but I still see a lot of people asking, hey, is Google available now for the Huawei phones? Unfortunately, no. So yeah, that's it. That's our full review of the Huawei Nova 9 SE. This is a very simple phone after all. So yeah,